Let's talk about a former Chiefs cornerback getting arrested again. A couple more former Chiefs signing with other teams. Look at training camp highlights as well as a report that says the Chiefs offered a big deal to Chris Jones in an attempt to process through why something still hasn't been worked out. But first, how about those? All right, first up, we have a bunch of quick hitter former Chiefs news. A couple days ago, former Chiefs cornerback and Super Bowl champion Bashaud Breeland was arrested again, and the things he's allegedly being charged with, does not look good. As a quick reminder, though, Breeland was a 4th-round draft pick by the Redskins in 2014, playing there for 4 years, and then after a quick stint in Green Bay, signed with the Chiefs in 2019, helping them win Super Bowl 54, and then signed another 1-year deal with KC in April of 2020. A few weeks later, though, he was arrested for possession of marijuana, resisting arrest, among other charges, and while he was suspended for 4 games that season, it was actually for a separate violation of the NFL's substance abuse policy. He then went on to play for the Vikings in 2021, and editor Troy told me he did not do well there, and then after not playing in 2022, he was reportedly eyeing a potential comeback this season, but his recent arrest may affect that a little bit or a lot of it because Breeland was recently pulled over in a Mercedes-Benz that was reported stolen. Officers then found 8 firearms, several $1,000s in cash, 62 grams of mushrooms, and nearly 5.5 pounds of weed, along with scales, a vacuum sealer, and bags. And I can't even blame the police for arresting him. After all, his last tweet on his official Twitter account was from back in March, and Breeland said, "Come get me already." So the police was basically just doing their job and came to get him. I mean, I feel bad for the guy on one hand here because bad company corrupts good character and you gotta surround yourself with better people. But on the other hand, this man has made nearly $12 million in the NFL, so I have no idea why he would need to be involved in any of this nonsense. However, I need to be clear here that these are alleged charges and we need to let the legal process play out first, but on first glance, everything that he has been charged with certainly does not look good. And then another former Chief and Super Bowl champion was not arrested, but he did sign with the divisional rival of a fan base that typically likes to hang out in prison. That's right, running back Damien Williams, who after leaving Kansas City played for the Bears in 2021 and sort of played for the Falcons in 2022. He had 2 total yards last season, appearing in 1 game before being placed on IR, but it was announced today that the 31-year-old veteran signed with the Las Vegas Raiders for what I would assume to be a cheap 1-year deal. And this makes sense because of the Josh Jacobs situation still ongoing with his holdout and the Raiders needing running back depth. It's going to be nasty, though, seeing him in that ugly-ass jersey, that's for sure. And just when I thought I was done hearing the name Breeland after talking about Bashaud Breeland getting arrested, another former Chief in Breeland Speaks, KC's former 2nd-round pick of the 2018 NFL Draft, who most recently led the USFL in sacks last season, is signing with the San Francisco 49ers after being placed on IR and also suspended 4 games for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Speaks was waived after the Chiefs won Super Bowl 54, and the man bounced around like a pinball to like 5 different NFL practice squads before signing with the Michigan Panthers. And while it didn't work out with Speaks here in KC, I do wish him nothing but the best in his next opportunity back in the NFL with the 49ers. Next up, we got to talk about Chris Jones and his interactions on Twitter. An update from Ian Rappaport on a big contract the Chiefs reportedly offered him, training camp practice standouts, and more. But first, I got to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mattress, a longtime sponsor of the channel that is currently running their Labor Day sale where you can get 35% off plus $400 worth of sleep accessories for free with your mattress purchase for a limited time. I've been using their mattress for nearly a year now, and honestly, I've never slept better. A good night's sleep, super important to me, especially because I've been dealing with these back issues, and for the last 10 months or so, my sleep has been in a borderline hibernation state ever since. Simply put, I've been sleeping fantastic. I personally am a back sleeper who likes a medium firmness in my mattress, but my wife sleeps on her stomach and prefers one that is more firm, so after taking their online quiz, we were matched with the elite hybrid mattress that would benefit us both, and after ordering it, they shipped it right to our front door, and from there, we threw our old mattress out, good riddance. Then we took the new mattress into our room, unboxed it, unrolled it, and boom! We officially upgraded our sleep quality. You see, Bear's sleep recovery technology uses a Celliant-powered fabric to help you stay cool throughout the night, and all mattresses are Green Guard Gold certified, Sturdy Pure US certified, and EcoFlex fiberglass free. Trust me, it's as safe and reliable as a Mahomes to Kelce touchdown in the red zone. And just like in my experience, Bear delivers the mattress right to your door in a box with free shipping in the US and is super easy to set up yourself. Bear also has a 120-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure that you love it, and if you don't, they'll pick it up for you and you'll get a full refund, which is something fans from the rest of the AFC West will never get after watching their teams lose so often. Plus, Bear mattresses have a lifetime warranty and they even offer financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. I certainly love my quality of sleep with Bear Mattress, and I think you will too. Just go to bearmattress.com/HBTC, where there's currently a Labor Day sale featuring 35% off plus $400 of sleep accessories for free with a mattress purchase for a limited time, though you can always click my link below for 30% off even if the sale is over. Alright, Chris Jones has been increasingly more active on X, formerly known as Twitter, and I think it's because he was hanging out at the airport waiting on a flight. He shared this photo on his IG story yesterday, which appears to be him traveling, and many are hoping, fingers crossed, that means he's flying to Kansas City. But as I will talk more about later, he wasn't at training camp's practice today, so who knows? However, sometime after that photo was shared, Chris Jones took to Twitter X, the X of Twitter, and said, "Stay strong and carry on," which currently means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing, because this is now cryptic tweet number 5,000 since contract negotiations have begun. But Chiefs fan Holly responded saying, "Chris, this cryptic tweeting is making us nuts." Okay, it's making me nuts. I just need a yes or no, preferably a yes. And Chris Jones then said, "Okay, let's dead it. What specifically do you want to know? I have time for one question." And my question, of course, was simply, will a deal get done with Kansas City? However, he sadly didn't answer my question, but he did say, "I'm under contract for one more year. I'm no fortune teller. Let's enjoy this year," which at least answers the question of, will Chris Jones hold out this season, which was highly unlikely in my opinion, because he's set to make a bunch of money this year. So, as most of us already assumed, since he's still under contract this season, he will play. Or will he? Because Arrowhead Pride dropped the podcast snippet today with guys on there basically saying there's a 0% chance Chris holds out because of the money he'd be missing out on. And Chris Jones actually responded saying, "You're just hoping I don't." And while that is true, we are all hoping Chris Jones plays this season because he's the centerpiece of the defense. I still found this response, I don't know, a bit odd to me. Like Chris was saying, don't tempt me, because honestly, I could miss out on games if I wanted. And again, while I doubt this happens, some have said worst case scenario, the Chris Jones holdout could go on into September and even into the first few weeks of the season. And I'm over here like, no, God, please, no. So yeah, having no Chris Jones or Charles Omenihu, who was suspended the first 6 games of the season, would be way less than ideal. Hopefully, it doesn't come to that with Chris Jones. And regarding his situation, it's clear that talks have stalled out, with Brett Veach recently saying both sides took a bit of a step back to take a deep breath and reset before talks ramped up again here soon with the season nearly upon us. And Nate Taylor of The Athletic recently added an interesting bit in an article of his own saying the Chiefs, according to a league source, are unwilling to make Jones the league's highest paid defensive tackle. The franchise, which has played in 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls, winning 2, doesn't have a single player who is the league's highest paid at his position. And at first I was like, well, how is this news? The reports never were that Chris Jones wanted to be the highest paid DT in the league, just at least wanted to be the second highest. But now I'm over here like, does Chris Jones actually want to top Aaron Donald's contract? Because today, Ian Rappaport said,
"So Chris Jones holding out. The Chiefs have made a big offer, obviously not big enough. We'll see how close he gets to Aaron Donald money. I think that's the kind of ballpark, and he is an awesome player."
The Chiefs have made a big offer to Chris Jones, but obviously it's not big enough. And while that's no surprise to me that Chris Jones would want as much as he could possibly get, and the Chiefs are probably wanting something more conservative numbers-wise, I don't know what to make of this right now, especially considering Chris Jones is about to turn 30, and the drop-off performance of DTs after the age of 30 is a very real thing. I still go back, though, to this recent report from Nate Taylor that said the Chiefs are unwilling to make Chris Jones the league's highest paid defensive tackle, and wonder, how much money is Chris Jones really wanting? Surely not more than Aaron Donald, right? And I guess with all that being said, I gotta pass the question off to you guys. Do you think Chris Jones is actually wanting more money than Aaron Donald? Because why else would Nate Taylor's article even feel the need to mention that from that league source? Or maybe is Chris just wanting close to Aaron Donald's numbers and the Chiefs are possibly lowballing him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Anyway, as far as training camp is concerned, the Chiefs had a short and light practice on Wednesday because practice was moved indoors due to inclement weather. They then had Thursday off, and then today was another light practice, the last one before the first preseason game. And because of the upcoming game, today's practice was again a lighter style 10-10-10 workout where the team works 10 offensive plays, then 10 defensive plays, then 10 minutes of special teams, and the first team offense goes up against the second team defense and vice versa. And as far as players who didn't practice today, there was only one small surprise, and that was defensive tackle Turk Wharton. He actually wasn't out there for the first time since coming off the PUP list as he works back to being ready after tearing his ACL last season. And hopefully whatever is going on with him and his knee is minor and we see him back out at practice next week. We didn't really get a report on that, so time will tell. The rest that didn't practice today was defensive tackle Chris Jones, who is still currently holding out. We talk about that every freaking video. Tight end Jody Fortson, who dislocated his shoulder on July 28th and has been out since. Kadarius Toney is still dealing with bouncing back from his minor knee surgery. Then L'Jarius Sneed is still dealing with knee swelling and hasn't practiced since like July 31st. And with him still out, it was Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson reportedly on the outside today with Trent McDuffie at nickel. Another player who's been out and placed on IR is defensive back Nazeeh Johnson, who actually had knee surgery yesterday, I believe, and the surgery was deemed successful. Now it's about healing up and getting right for the next season, and I certainly am wishing him the best in his recovery. Anyway, the only player limited at today's practice is still running back Isaiah Pacheco, who's not fully cleared for contact as he rehabs that shoulder and looks to get back to 100% by the start of the season. And then it was reported that wide receiver Amir Smith-Marset left a bit early from today's practice. Apparently, he took a hit in the middle of the field during today's non-padded practice and left in the front of the cart with what appeared to be an upper body injury. So hopefully it is indeed minor and he will get some action in these upcoming preseason games because he's been working very hard this camp. In fact, Andy Reid said that the goal is everybody will play this Sunday, everybody who's healthy at least. And to paraphrase Big Red's statement, he said, quote, "We can't keep everyone obviously, but we are going to give them all an opportunity to present themselves on tape. So prepare and go shine. They've earned the opportunity to do that." He's excited to see the young guys play as they are still in the evaluation period, him and all the coaches. And then coach said that each quarterback will play one quarter on Sunday, but typically Mahomes only plays one drive, though I guess we shall see if that changes this go round. Big Red is a big believer in playing starters in the preseason, and that's not going to change now. Andy then said the only players who will not suit up on Sunday are Isaiah Pacheco, Turk Wharton, Jody Fortson, Kadarius Toney, and L'Jarius Sneed. No real surprise there. And for some standout plays from today's practice worth talking about, Patrick Mahomes threw a deep ball to Rashee Rice against Casper, the friendly ghost in warmups, which must have gotten his arm loose for this absolute rocket he threw down the field to MVS for a touchdown, a connection that I expect to be on point throughout the season with MVS heading into his second year with the team. And speaking of on-point connections, Mahomes connected with Travis Kelce a couple of times, first on a nice ball down the left sideline for a big gain, and then again on what appeared to be a tight end screen. Then on the defensive side of the ball, Joshua Williams had a nice interception on Chris O, who was targeting Cornell Powell across the middle of the field, and then safety Swiss Army knife Chamari Connor, the rookie, could also be seen making a leaping grab on a pass from Chris O again. Poor Chris. Next up, Brian Cook made a really nice play, breaking up a deep ball intended for Ty Scott. Deneric Prince could also be seen getting some kick return reps in, and I'm very excited to see what he's got, especially in the return game come Sunday. He was also seen working with Jerick McKinnon after practice on what appeared to be some pass blocking techniques, taking different pointers from the vet and soaking in all the knowledge he can. So while Prince is one player I'm excited to see this Sunday, another few that I will be watching for personally is going to be both wide receivers Rashee Rice, the rookie, and Justin Ross, the social media hype train himself, tight end Matt Bushman, who is pushing to try and make the 53. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to have my eyes on defensive tackle Keandre Coburn, the speed rusher BJ Thompson, as well as safety Chamari Connor, and cornerback Nick Jones. And before I get out of here, who are you going to be looking for this Sunday against the Saints and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those?